All right, let's talk about the South Carolina Gamecocks. The Gamecocks are a team that has generated a lot of hype this offseason. They're coming into this season as a real threat. People are looking at them to be one of the teams to beat. And on that note, the Gamecocks have gotten some fantastic news. The news, by default, it seems like no duh. Of course, this will be great news for the Gamecocks, but I think it goes a lot deeper than that. And there's more meaning hidden behind what it actually is going to do for the Gamecocks this year. We'll dive into all of that in just a second. But first, I'm Andrew, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, as I alluded to, the Gamecocks got some great news this week in regards to their program. I think it's going to do a lot of good things for them. So without further ado, let's jump on into it. Everyone's probably already heard it by now, but there's a lot more meaning to what it could be. So this first part over from ESPN.com says South Carolina announced Monday that transfer running back Rahsul Faison has been granted an additional season of eligibility by the NCAA to play this season. Said, I applaud the NCAA for looking at all the facts and Rahsul Faison's appeal and making the right decision today, South Carolina Athletic Director Jeremiah Donati wrote on X. He has been patiently waiting for this decision, and we share his excitement to have one more year of eligibility and be a member of our football team this year. Obviously, crucially important. I think this is going to be big for the Gamecocks. Faison's one of the transfers that came in. I think people were the most excited about. He is one of the more highly touted guys to join this team through the transfer portal, and I think it's going to have a big impact on this team. That's all obvious, but I think there's some deeper things you can pull from this, and I think other players on the team are starting to realize what it could mean for the Gamecocks as well. Now that it's all developed, it's materialized, and you see the possibilities in front of it, which leads us to our second article here from CBS Sports. It says, I think we're capable of a lot more than we did last year, like making the playoffs. I think we can do it as a team with the mindset everybody has, the young guys coming in here, the transfers, they bought into the program. As soon as they got here, they didn't complain and ask questions if they were confused about something. Everybody's bought in. Now we just got to go and put it all together. Of course, this was Lenore Sellers on his thoughts of this season. This is just recently he said this after the announcement of Faison coming back. I think it's starting to come together. This is a team that has expectations. This is a team that can do some really great stuff this year. And I think a guy like Faison really is going to be a key part of what this team is going to do. We all know Lenore Sellers is a fantastic athlete. He's going to add a lot to this team, but people are keyed in on him now. They know what he brings to the table. Can they stop him? Probably not, but you don't want to have to rely on him completely. You need some other pieces around him to balance out this offense. And a guy like Faison is going to be critically important because if we look at what happened to the running back room this year, as everybody already knows, we can look from last season, Raheem Sanders, obviously big time running back for this team, goes on, hopefully does great things in the NFL, but a big part of the rushing attack for this team is gone. You have to replace that production. Also, guys like Juju McDowell, another guy that has been decently productive as well in a couple different aspects, is also gone. So this is a team that need to replace some production at the running back position. And I think also it's going to help Lenore Sellers balance out this offense. Because if we look at what I think the biggest issue for South Carolina was last year, you can look at their PFF grades from game to game. And you look at these grades, and I think it screams something that is very obvious. Consistency was a problem. There was some inconsistency in games that they lost specifically. If you look at the chunk in the middle of the beginning of the season, starting with the loss to LSU, look at their overall grades there. That was the lowest graded game of the season. Granted, they should have won the game, but the fact of the matter is they left a lot of on the table here as far as this is a team. Not a lot of great offense going on in that game. One of their lower grades of the year. This is a team, blocking things of that nature. Not a lot going on there as well. Really struggled in that game. They need to be more consistent and having more pieces around the ball where people can't key in on a guy like Norris Sellers so much is going to help them be more consistent. Look at other games they lost against Ole Miss. Another game kind of a low grade for the Gamecocks, one of their lower grades, below 70, 69.5 grade there. And finally, the other game they lost against Alabama, a game 67.1 grade for them there as well. And then even a game that they won, really tight game versus Missouri, you can see there 69.0 grade for them overall as a team. So in the games that South Carolina struggled or lost, you can see consistency was an issue. So making this team wider, spreading it wider, putting more star power onto the field, especially offensively, I think is going to help this team. Dylan Stewart's going to be great. There's a lot of great players all over the defensive side of the ball. I think they're going to recoup nicely from everybody they lost there. We've talked about that this season already. But on the offensive side of things, I think South Carolina, the addition of a guy like Faison, we're going to see the rise of a guy like Harbor. I think is going to be a big asset this year. We're going to see more out of him than we ever have before. This is going to be crucial for this team. A guy like Faison's really got to come in here. He's got to step up and show what he is capable of. This is a guy going into, I believe, his 7th year in the college football world. A lot of reps, a lot of veteran play under his belt, showing he knows things, he's seen things, he knows what to do, how to run an offense, how to be a complementary piece to star players. So I think the Gamecocks are set up really nicely. They're going to be able to replace a lot of the production they can. And now finally getting the Rahsul Faison thing finally nailed down and moving forward, that is the key here. It's going to help this team really recover, recoup, and come into this season not just being, a one-trick pony as far as Lenore Sellers is the weapon in the backfield. It's either he's going to go to run or you don't know who else is back there. Now there's another guy back there. He is a threat. You can't look past Faison because you give this guy the ball, he is dangerous coming out of the backfield. We've seen that we did a video on him at the beginning of the season when they were able to get him in the transfer portal. The guy is great, phenomenal, put up a lot of great numbers throughout his time in the college football world. So I think this is going to be great for Gamecocks. I think there's a lot going on here, and I think we should be excited about what we're going to see on the field this year for the Gamecocks.